Hi everyone, it's Den here. Welcome to the School of Light. Well, I suppose you could call this the very first in the Smith Makes stuff in our new series. And today we've got something really amazing, I think. In this video, we are going to be taking a look at this thing here, which is the ceremonial first ball of light head that I ever made, along with the tool. We're going to be taking a look at these. This is the first light painting tool I ever made. And what we're going to be doing is we are going to refurbish these because they all have some issues. And then we're going to take them out and we're going to make some bloody light painting. You can't really sort of get into this without having a bit of a talk about why this is so important. This is ceremonially the first ball of light head that I ever made in 2008 or 9. I'm going to put the very first ball of light image I ever made up on the screen now, and you'll notice that this thing looks quite orange. That looks quite blue and green. I have a box here of all the heads that I made at that time, the first lot, and I cannot find that blue-green one. I actually reckon like a few heads, it went flying off into the countryside one night. So this is the one that I call the first. And as you can see, I've got a little camera over here. As you can see, this thing is bonkers. It is a tennis ball cut in half with some LEDs poked through the surface of it and tied together with a cable tie. And it is amazing. And then we've got the tool part. The grip, which was remarkably comfortable, was made out of a bear chiller, which here in Australia we call a stubby holder. And the controller is a piece of PVC tubing with a button and a pot and a 9-volt battery in it. So why is this so special? Well, back in the day, around that time, we'll call it 2009, in the light painting community, there was a bunch of us making orbs. Now, I was not the first person to spin an orb. I was influenced by a bunch of absolute legends on Flickr. But we were all out there making our own tools. There was nothing you could buy. And I was, like I am now, a bit of a dipshit. And I didn't really know what the hell I was doing. So there was lots of just connecting batteries to LEDs till they blew up. But what I ended up making was, I'll show you this box. It's so awesome. Now, if I cover my face, this will come into focus. Look at that. Oh my gosh. So these still are the very first lot of ball of light tools that I made, and so many of them still work. That one not so much, but look at them. They look like some sort of prehistoric weapon of war. They are unbelievable, and so many of them still work. But the thing for me is when I plug these in now, 10 plus years later, I still remember when I'd reach into my bag and grab this one, red, green, orange, right? And I would go young and I make a orb with this color, and I'd reach in there. These are hilarious. Look at this one. This one is a hoot. Like, look at it. It still works, right? And look at it. Hello, I am a ball of light head. Hello. Oh, look at that. Blue and white. I should take that one to Scotland in September. Okay, the very first thing we need to do is we need to ascertain if this works. If not, why? Obviously, I plugged this in already, and I can tell you there's a problem. If I plug the tool in as it sits now, what I do know is that if I muck around with the pot a bit, I get a little flicker of light. How do we fault find this? Well, we just start taking bits of it, and we start connecting it to something we know works, right? So I know that this is a functioning ball of light tool. Look at this thing. This has been through the wars. Yikes. Now I can see 2 of the 10mm yellow ones down here that aren't working. And over here are a couple of LEDs that are missing that went flying off as I smashed into something. So I know that the head is in bad shape. We're going to open this up and do some work on it. Plug this controller into here, and it's not working. So it is the controller. Oh, incredibly, the original cable from 10 years ago still works. Still the old fishing swivel, stubby holder, and cable tie. It's incredible how many ball of light images this thing spun, and it still works. So we're going to replace the pot. We're going to pull that apart and fix some LEDs, and we're going to head out and make some ball of light images. I remember sitting on the back porch of my father-in-law's house when we moved here from New Zealand. I was an absolute wreck back then, desperate to find something, and this was it. And I was just getting so excited when I was on Flickr looking at light painting. and I figured I could have a go. So I got this aluminium channel, I drilled some holes in it with my father-in-law's borrowed thing. I got a button and I put a 9-volt battery in here. Yeah, so that is absolutely dead as a dodo. So we need to fault find that one. And this here I made around, you can tell by how awesome this is, I made this around about the same time. And this one, and you can see the couple there not working. So we're gonna get this going, we're gonna get those LEDs going, it'll just be some soldering or whatever. We are gonna be making a lot of tools coming up. But I'm looking forward to showing you all the different orb tools. There's no reason why you can't start making them how I did. I might even show you how to make a ball of light head out of a tennis ball. I have found our 10 mil yellow LED. These clear ones are very special. They have an unbelievably narrow field of view. They have a 5 degree, and we talked about this in the LED video, a 5 degree field of view. I'm going to take you somewhere that you're going to think is absolutely hilarious. Let's go and have a look, because there may be some of these. I'm going to take this little camera, we're going to have a peek. All right, so these are where my standard sort of regularly used LEDs are down here. So there's boxes of LEDs there, there's one under there, and I've had a pretty good look through for the orange ones that we need for this head. So let's go and take a look out in the shed. What do we got here? Gosh, it's been a long time since I have looked in here. All right, so in here, got my LED tester here, and the thing with these ones is they have a funny shape. So I can tell, oh my gosh, what? The very first ones. Look at these pink ones. Look at those pink ones in there. They are tiny little things. Little greenies in there. There's some very special LEDs in these drawers. They were the first conicals I ever found. See those ones in there? In that drawer, all those LEDs, and I found them straight away. Alrighty, let's not muck around. Let's open up this head. I'm going to be super careful with this, because I have quite a deep love for this head. So what I'm going to do is you can tell it's a tennis ball, can't you? From the fluff. It's there from that. Nice. So in here are all the resistors. Now, like all LEDs, and we talked about this in the original LED video, inside here, each LED has a resistor and a positive and a negative. Now, to make this easy, I'm just going to cut this wire here and separate that away. Cool. So all I need to be able to see is which ones are and aren't working. These two 10 mils here aren't working. Snip. So all I'm doing is inside here, I'm just freeing up. It's like pulling a tooth. All right, there it is. You might not be able to see, but in here are two little holes. So what I was doing is I just punched two little holes in the tennis ball, and I'd push the legs through. All right, so let's get these in there. So I'm just putting that back through that hole. So all I'm doing down there is just reconnecting these legs with existing positive and negative. Boom! There it is. And what makes this really cool, I'm only replacing what I have to. So I want to keep as much of it as possible. It's so much brighter. So the only thing I can think to do, right? The only thing I can think to do is to put a stronger resistor in there. Because we have to, it can't be brighter than these ones. I'll put a stronger resistor in there. It's a lot dimmer, but, all right, so, oh my gosh. So there's one that's broken off right on the top here, which means that getting in there means right into the bottom in there. Very fiddly in there. All right, so let's see if I got it. Yes! It's like a win every time one of them turns on. That's so good. All right, so they're all going now. The only problem is as you can see, there's some that are very dim. I'm going to cut here. I'm going to replace a few of these dim ones with some slightly brighter ones, and I'll come back. So there's clearly some differentials between some of the dims and the brights, but we've got our 3 main ones in the middle there. Is I'm actually going to put some hot glue inside just to keep the wires apart. All right, there's a bit of hot glue. So all I'm going to do, we don't want too much because it adds to the weight, and weight is bad. I'm just going to just let little strands of glue just sort of drizzle in there. This is really exciting. I'm actually really looking forward to getting down the beach. This has taken a lot longer than I thought. It's just gone after midnight. Gosh, this is very, very fragile. Let me just get some cable ties. Great days. I have such fond memories of my early tool building. Yep, that's still going. All right, here we go. So there is a better way to do this, I'm sure, but for the purpose of this exercise and wanting to keep it authentic. All right, there we go. So I think that will hold together. Now, I wouldn't normally do this, but I am just going to dab a bit of hot glue around the spot just to keep some of these cable ties in place. Now, the reason I'm using hot glue and not epoxy, just in case I need to open it up again tomorrow. So there we go. Woo! That only took an hour. Well, it's midnight. I am well, it's 1:15 midnight. I'm very tired. We're going to come back tomorrow and we are going to fix the pot in the pot and the controller, and then you know what? Tomorrow night we're going to and we'll do the other tools, and tomorrow night we're going to go out and have a play. So I'll see you tomorrow to finish off the repair. Time for sleeping. Maybe a bit of Le Mans. Oh my gosh, that's exciting. I'll see you later. Peace. Alrighty, so that was a big night. I left the workshop about midnight, and I'm really happy that we've now got a head that is suitable for going out and spinning an orb. What we have a problem with is the controller, and the problem in the controller is the pot. Alrighty, here we go. So this is a resistor, this is a pot, what we call a pot, or a variable resistor. Alright, so let's go into here. Cool. What I've discovered is that I have sealed this shut with some epoxy resin. But I'm determined that we stay with this fundamental body. So I need to get into there somehow. Woohoo! All right, so I've created a bit of an opening in the top there to give us access to everything we should need. Yay! And so now I've got access to the wires that are in there. Okay, I'm just going to open up this hole a little bit. Yes! Okay, so it's in. I'm just going to lock it down. Nice one, there we go. Alrighty, so you can see that now using this one here, and let's see if we can control the power. Yep, so we're power up. Look at that. Wow, hello, ball of light. I'm gonna grab some black electrical tape, tidy this up. It's like open heart surgery, open brain surgery, because this is kind of the brains of the ball of light tool. All right. Here we go. Look at that. That is a thing of beauty. Oh my gosh. Amazing. You know, I mean, who would have thought that I would feel quite attached or quite emotional about this? Changed my life. This tool, it literally changed my life. Okay, the original ball of light tool, ready to go. So I'm going to put that aside. I'm going to put it over there. Let's get into part two. All right. So this here is the very first light painting tool that I ever made. And all it is a piece of aluminium channel with some red and green LEDs in it and a super basic circuit, battery, button, and LEDs. Now for some reason this is not working at all. All right, and let's just connect that. All right, there we go. So what I've done is I've snipped one of the wires off one side of the switch, the button, sorry, and I'm just touching onto the other side, and you can see that the LEDs are coming on. So that would suggest to me the problem is the button. So there we go, button's working. Okay, so we're going to use our same astonishing method of hot glue. All right, so this big guy already has a battery in there. And I know that there's 2 LEDs not working here and 2 not working there. They may not need replacing. It feels like it might just be a little bit of the circuit has gone. That's so beautiful. You can tell that I had no idea what I was doing. Ah, cool. So what it is, all it is that wire there. That wire there has come loose from there. So all I need to do is just solder that back on. There we go. So now those 2 are going. And I can imagine it will be something similar down here. Yep, and same scenario. So in here is one of these wires here has just come separated from there. So it's just a little dab of solder in there. And I can almost guarantee, boom. Look, it's not the prettiest, but it's certainly going to do the trick. All right, let's just fold that over. Because this is the type of thing I would have done 10 years ago. All right, well, look, I'm assuming that I've just cut to me down the beach making some images, and I'm sure they are a hoot. Alrighty, well there you go. I think I've just come back from the beach making some images. I have no idea if they're really good because that's happening tonight, in the future. We're in the past, we're in a time machine. Look, if you take anything from this rather prolonged, longer than I thought, piece about refurbishing my first tools is this. I am a dipshit. I've always been a dipshit, but I've never been scared to have a go. Find an LED, find a resistor, drill some dodgy assholes, half a tennis ball for crying out loud. You know, I just figured it out and I had to go. And yeah, our art form has a history. I was just inspired by people spinning orbs in 2008, and I wanted to have a go. I by no means was the first by any stretch. I stand on the shoulders of giants, but what spinning orbs and making all these things did for me is it changed my life. It made me happier. It made me explore my mind, the landscape. Have a go. Half a tennis ball, some plastic tube, a bloody stubby holder, a fishing swivel. I just figured it out and had a go. So I encourage you to have a go. I hope you enjoyed this little tidbit. It's the first in the Smith Makes Stuff series of the new thing, and what a way to start. I hope you had fun. I know I did. Let's get it on. Peace.